All right, so Purdue, one of the things that I want to talk about today was some pushback going on out there about the Boilermakers, who, oh, by the way, just went into Madison and got a road win, to further the idea that they are 1A or 1B with UConn. I have them ranked number one. I think they deserve it based on their resume. But again, you can make a case, and I can make a case for UConn being the better team. I think it's splitting hairs at this point. I'd love to see it. I think most people would love to see that as their national title game. Like, wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you love to see?
I would.
Those two big boys go at it.
It'd be a phenomenal game, and the matchups would be really fun to talk about. And I hope that happens.
So Zach Edey gets some shit for his defense. Like, he dominates in the offensive end, and defensively a couple of years ago, I don't want to say he was a liability, but he wasn't nearly as good as he is now, which makes sense because he was fairly new to the game, right? Probably still only been playing the game competitively for about 6-7 years at this point. But again, there's been some naysayers, Rob, saying that Zach Edey is a liability on the defensive end. What say you to them?
I talked to a Big Ten coach within the last week about this, and he said that his defense changes everything about how you have to attack Purdue. So
Why?
I think that's a terrible take.
Yeah.
I think he's been really good this year. Protecting the rim, he made a big stride last year. I thought the jump he made as a sophomore to a junior of not fouling, verticality, and defending the rim was really good. And this year, I feel like he's made the jump of, Purdue's scheme is going to be drop coverage. He's not going to hedge. He's not going to be up to touch. He's going to be in the drop. And that's okay. You have to have guards that can get over the top. Lance Jones has helped in that regard, I think. But in the drop this year, we have seen Edey do a lot of late switching where you'll see the guard gets over the top of the screen. If he's behind or it's late in the clock, the guard just snaps back to basically Edey's man, and Zach will take on the ball handler. And I think he's done a great job this year at either staying in front or on the times where he does get beat, staying in the play and blocking shots. He's top 5 in blocks. He alters game plans.
Yep.
He definitely is in the back of people's minds when you drive to the rim. I think he's a lock to make the all-defensive team in the Big Ten. So to say that he's a bad defender, it's unfathomable to me.
So he is not what we talked about with Kofi Coburn, Oscar Tshiebwe, some of these bigs, and you saw him plenty, that, again, once they got into the NCAA tournament, they could be really taken advantage of from a defensive standpoint. We saw it with Loyola Chicago against Illinois and Kofi. You don't feel like Purdue.
Well, don't get me wrong. I still think that, if he has to guard Rink Mast, that could be a problem for him because Mast was pretty good last night against Illinois. He's going to take you on the perimeter. It's going to be 5 out, dribble handoffs, pick and pops like that. The weakness of his game, and some of it's scheme based, some of it's the fact that he's 7'4" and over 300 pounds, is that with a skilled 5, it's going to be challenging. That's going to be a hard guard for him. Look at the way that they even guarded Wisconsin yesterday.
Yeah.
They put Edey on Wall, and they put their 4 on Steven Crowell because their thought is, well, Wall's a driver.
Yeah.
He's a guy that scored from within 5 feet. Crowell can pick and pop, and we'll just trap off Wall and post double Steven Crowell. So I think that he guarded Ty Rodgers, and is really the only center who has done a good job in that matchup. And I think some of that speaks to Ty Rodgers maybe not having his greatest performance, but a lot of it is Edey guards better than any other centers that he has seen do that. So I can't believe that that's a take, honestly.
By the way, the other thing I've come around on with Purdue, here's the biggest thing I've come around on, honestly, over the last month or so, is Lance Jones.
He is a beast. Yesterday, I didn't get to see the whole game, but the end of the game, beast.
Well, he's exactly what if you're Matt Painter, you signed up for, because now Braden Smith has shown that he can handle the point guard duties. Like, he doesn't need somebody to help him.
I want to remind you, you had some big questions about that coming into the season.
Of course. Because again, like we saw the end of the year last year, right?
No, I know.
He wore down. I think number one, he wore down. And then I thought, honestly, mentally, he wore down and it affected him. And it hurt him in the tournament and down the
I mean,
stretch.
man, when you're a freshman, it's hard.
Yes.
Your first
And
season
a
of college
freshman that didn't
basketball is
have a
like, what is?
preseason. Rob, he
Yeah.
didn't have a preseason like other freshmen. He was hurt. So I get it. I'll tell you what, early in the season with Lance Jones, I was like, ooh, some games he looks like a world beater. Other games, man, he did not know what a good shot or a bad shot was.
Well, he took a lot of deep threes at Southern Illinois last year.
Yes. I felt like he thought he was still at Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
And
I asked Marcus Damask last night before I interviewed him after the game, what was your guys' record last year? Because they had those two. And I think they've got a dude this year that was on the team last year that's really playing well. And he told me that they won, he thought 23 games. And he goes, if Rick Mast hadn't hit a three, we would have won the league title or something like that. But their talent was pretty impressive in Carbondale last year. I agree. He is a game changer for Purdue. The burst, the transition aspect, defensively, he gives them something that they did not have last year.
Huge. I mean, he's been efficient now. Like other than the
36 from
Rutgers
three
game,
now. He's 36 from three on the year now.
Yeah, take away the Rutgers game, right? And like he's probably close to 40%. What's he shooting from the field?
He is shooting.
Got to be decent, right? I mean, it's got to.
I think it's solid. Let's see. He is 43 from the field, 36 from three. In league play, he is shooting. League play, that is 42 from the field and 38 from three.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Just gives them another weapon that they didn't have.
Purdue they can put so many shooters around, around Edey, and it's tough to guard.